weekend? Yes. On the weekend. There's no homework. Hello, Dad.
Hello.
Did you make any snacks today?
We made the things we need to make for pizza. So we're gonna make pizza tomorrow.
Nice.
School. It was awesome.
Hello, Jake. I think there's some paper on your desk. Alright, Lisa, can you close the door for me, please? Thank you. Okay, so today we are going to go a little bit more in depth about where the title of this book comes from. Do you guys remember when we first started this unit and I asked you to kind of guess what you think the title means? Remember that? You guys gave me really good answers about their circumstances. Remember that? Yeah.
Of course there's a lot of answers about grades, so.
Yeah, but you know, there's always talk of grade circumstances. You got it. That's the point. Okay, so today we are going to read a poem by Langston Hughes, and this is where Hansberry got the title of this book from. Her and Langston Hughes were actually friends with each other. So Langston Hughes was a poet in the 1950s, and they were friends with each other. Hansberry asked for permission to use a line in his poem as the title for her book. And I believe it was a very purposeful choice because that poem says something about her play or the message she wants to convey in the play. So we're going to read that together. And I actually have the historical documents, the letters they wrote back and forth to each other or asking for permission, which I thought was pretty cool. So can you turn to this page in the book? This is like the almost the very front. Oh, okay. Someone want to read it? Want to read the poem? Huh? There's no page number, which is on the. Okay, good.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a soul, and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or press and sugar over, like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it's just sad, like a heavy load. Or does it explode?
Dun dun dun. Or does it explode? First impressions of this poem. Do you think it adds context to what the title of the book is, or play is?
Yeah.
Wow. Sam and Carter give me goodness and yes, why?
Because it talks about dreams.
Talks about dreams. What happens to dreams in the play? I don't know. You want to help Carter?
Like some dreams are going to be fulfilled, but others have to be rejected.
Yeah. Remember when we talked about as like a reoccurring motif, dreams being deferred? Who remembers what deferred means? Deferred. Yeah, show me out.
Like
saved for later or put aside?
Yeah, it's saved for later or put to the side. Who do we see in the book whose dreams are put to the side? They're gonna put their dreams to the side. Yeah,
Walter,
Walter, why?
because he wanted a liquor store, but he got rejected and nobody else wanted it.
Yeah, you can make that argument. Romeo?
Lena, her mom,
Mama, why?
she wanted a house for her family and her grandchildren, but they didn't have money until after her husband died.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking. When she says that they weren't supposed to stay in that apartment that they had very long, the goal was always for them to get a house, and they never actually get there. She kind of puts her dreams to the side to cater to her family and her current circumstance. Yes.
I feel like I would argue that Ruth honestly doesn't know because she wants a house too,
Mhm.
but she really doesn't do anything about it. Mama does do something about it, so she's Ruth kind of ignores it more than Mama does.
Yeah. I might place Ruth in a different spot, and I'll see if you change your mind when we get there. How's that? Okay. Whose dream dries up? Whose dream dries up? That's hard.
Walter,
Walter, what?
because his dream's kind of like unrealistic and has to be put to the side.
You can make that argument. I'm thinking of someone else in my head, but you can make that argument. Someone's dream dries right up. Doesn't really come to fruition. There are minor characters, so this might be a hard ball to hit. But I think you guys can do it. A circumstance happens in this person's life that changes them forever. Yeah.
Is that us again?
Still remembers Big Walter, Walter's dad. What happens? Yes.
Wait.
You wanna help?
Didn't they lose their son to a miscarriage?
Yeah, so they lost the baby. And Mama said that he was never the same after that. She thought she was gonna lose him. And ever since then, he just put himself headstrong into like working, and that's it. Like work, come home, make sure my kids are alive, breathing and well, and that's all I'm gonna do. And he gets himself stuck in this kind of cycle until he dies. And in that sense, I would argue that his dreams have dried up. He doesn't really focus on like anything about himself anymore, right? Just kind of turns himself into a robot, like work, home, distract himself from this terrible circumstance that happened to him. Whose dreams fester? Fester. First, does anyone want to help with what the word fester means? Fester.
She keeps thinking about it, like doesn't know what that is at.
Yeah, so festering is something that keeps like fermenting, or you keep, in the physical sense, or something that you keep mulling over in your head over and over again. It's festering. Now, do you want
Literally exactly what you said.
Benita? Why?
Because, I think that she has two big dreams, like she wants to get to know her heritage better, and she wants to become a doctor. So like she keeps like working at it, and she's going to school, and she's able to do this, and like, she's figuring out herself, and she's like working, so keeps building, until hopefully one day she'll be able to reach her goal.
Yeah, so she's very, probably the most in the book out of all the characters, very headstrong into what she wants to do. She's very focused on herself. I'm gonna try out all the things that I like. I'm going to date these guys to kind of learn from them and experience from them what I want. I'm going to go to medical school because that's what I want. Yes, you could make that argument. I'm thinking of someone else in my head, but these are all good points. Someone else you guys have named a couple times. Yes,
Walter?
Walter, yes. Why might that be Walter? His dreams festering. Does fester have like a negative or a positive connotation to it?
Negative.
Positive.
Well, depends on what circumstances.
So fester like a sore, does that sound like a negative or a positive connotation? And like kind of a negative connotation. the reason why I would put Walter in this box is because he mulls over his dreams for so long. In the beginning of the play, he says that he's been thinking about his dream for 11 years, ever since he's gotten married. And he looks up and he doesn't see anything but his son sleeping on a couch. He doesn't have anything to offer his family, and that bothers him to no end. And that's why we see him have these explosive fits throughout the play. Damn, all the eggs there ever was. He's festering over these things and getting so frustrated that he isn't able to reach them. And we don't see this emotionally charged reaction out of every character. It mostly comes from Walter. Does that make sense? And who would you say their dream is a heavy load? They carry a heavy load. Jake and Abby. Mama? Why? What's the answer? Why?
Because she would have to do a lot, like make sure that they turn out good.
Yeah, so she juggles a lot with her family. She's trying to make sure that her children are okay and everything turns out fine and good and they're stable. She carries a heavy load. Do you want to say something else, Evan?
Oh, I was gonna say Ruth.
Yes, she has something common with Mama that they're both mothers. Why does she carry a heavy load?
Because like she wants to do the best for the family, but make sure like her son doesn't go like chasing rats in the street. Like she wants him to be like more mature.
I was gonna say also because she's like in the middle of the generation.
Yeah. So we talked about her being in the middle of two generational ideas, and that way she carries a heavy load with what she has to deal with her family. She carries a heavy load. I feel she also straddles the line between dreamer and realist. Like when she says nobody's a business person until they get into business, that's kind of a hint that she's being kind of a dreamer. And then she kind of comes back down to reality sometimes, and she tries to be a realist. Well, Walter, you have a good job, and you have a nice family, and this is how we make money. Yes, you want to add?
I think that she also carries a heavy load because she is in the middle of not only generations but of people, because she wants to side with Mama and take care of her family and like make sure that Travis grows up in a good place and good house.
Mm-hmm.
And same with if she has a baby.
Mhm.
But she also doesn't want to wreck her marriage, so she wants to side with Walter on some things. But she really struggles between one.
Yeah. So she's always kind of straddling the line somewhere, trying to make sure she has the perfect balance of things and an issue. She's carrying a heavy load. She was carrying a heavy load being pregnant. She's the only person that knows. And that's a tough circumstance coming from where and how that they're living. And she was keeping that to herself. When she shared that information with the rest of her family, did that load become lighter or no? Her sharing the information, no, you're like, no, why?
Because when she then shared it with everyone, she got conflicting responses on how she should deal with it.
Yeah.
And I also got really mad.
Yeah.
Walter, okay, anyways.
So everyone gives her kind of these different responses and reactions. That's only going to confuse her more. And she's not in the driver's seat of being able to buy that house. She has that dream, but right now she's living in Mama's house. And she's not in the driver's seat of being able to buy that house. So she's kind of out of control in that way, and that's a heavy load. Whose dream do you think is going to explode? This is like an inference question, to kind of tell you what you think is going to happen. Whose dream do you think is going to explode? Yes, Jake.
What do you mean by that? Like in a good way or bad?
Explode, like not come to fruition.
Walter.
Walter, why?
Because like everyone else just goes with him and like he goes and says it off on his own, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, everyone disagrees with him. It's probably not going to happen. Romeo, yes.
I was gonna say Mama or Ruth's because the house is it's in a white neighborhood, and they
Yeah.
probably it's gonna be a bad time for them.
Yeah, so we talked about that when we first started this with the redlining. They're trying to buy a house, they're going to try to buy a house in a white neighborhood. That might not pan out so well for them, as we saw with had his own family, they had to go to the Supreme Court to be able to keep their house. Yeah, you were gonna say that? Another thing that I was thinking about with Walter, is you remember when Mama, she's like, oh, we're gonna take some of the money and we're gonna put it towards Manisha's education, then we're gonna take some and put it towards the down payment. And if everybody pitches in, then we'll be able to afford the house. So people still have to pitch in. Like the $10,000, $100,000 in today's money is not enough still. People are still gonna have to pitch in. Walter tells us that his investment or down payment on the liquor store is the entire $10,000. So he doesn't take into consideration what anyone else wants in this situation. He wants to take the entire check of the insurance money and put it only towards this investment. And that seems drastic to me, which is why I would kind of infer that maybe his dream will explode. Does anyone else want to throw out a guess? No? We're kind of on the same spot, same page? I want to show you before we move to our packet, just the historical documents that I have. Can you flick one of the lights with that, or both? I don't really know how dark it is.
Sure.
Okay, it's really dark, but for you to be able to see it. So, Lorraine Hansberry writes this letter to Langston Hughes. I am the author of a 3-act dramatic play on Negro life. I have tentatively chosen as a title for this work a line from one of your poems. The line is A Raisin in the Sun. I should be extremely gratified and complimented to receive your consent for the use of this line as a title. And then he writes back to her. I can't recall whether I answered your letter in February, requesting permission to use the line, A Raisin in the Sun, as a title for your 3-act play. I am happy to give you my permission for its use and to send you all good wishes for its success. I just thought that this was really cool to be able to see that exchange between the two. Because in life, in actual life, outside of the work of this play, they get to know each other really well after this. So I thought that it was cool just to see the connection of how their relationship formed and how he's grounded in the conception of this book. Okay, so the packet that I have in front of you where is your assignment? Okay, there it is. Okay, so the packet that I have in front of you, we're going to look more in depth on how these dreams are developed in the play and how they are deferred in the play. So you're going to give me 5 character traits for the person which you're assigned. So this is just things describing them. At this point, there's going to be multiple answers for these character traits, but we've read far enough in the book that you should be able to come up with some of these yourself. You're going to tell me what each person's dream is, evidence of that dream, so one quote from the book that shows me that that's their dream. And then what's one obstacle of achieving their dream, and a quote that shows me that obstacle. When you guys are through with this, I'm going to have each group share out. And as you guys are sharing, whoever you don't have, you're to be filling in. Whoever you don't have, so that you have everyone. You guys are assigned based on who I assigned you for your quotes for your journal. If you're someone who has Travis or Ostagar, you can choose whoever you want to do in this packet. Because they're not included in this packet, so Max, Deasia, Clara, Aiden, Evan, Y, you can choose whatever character that you would like to do in this packet. You can work with one other person as long as the noise level stays to a minimum and don't move chairs or bodies. So you can work with the people next to you, but don't move chairs or bodies. Reach? Cool. On the same page? Alright. You guys can get working. I'll give you about 10 to 12 minutes to complete this. and I'll be around if you guys have questions. I'm also gonna give you the ages of the people. So, people who have Benita, she's 20. People who have Walter, he's 35. People who have Ruth, yes.
To be honest, from here I can see.
Okay, I can say them all too. People who have Ruth, she's 30. 30? Yes. So, people who have Walter is Carter, Jackson, Sydney, Logan, and Lindsay. People who have Ruth, Jake, Connor, Ella, Romeo, Grace, Sam. People who have Mama or Lena, Antonio, Alex, Julia, Kiara, and Lisette. And people who have Benita, Matt, Evan, M, Lily, Paige, and Quint. And then people who have Joseph, Asagai, and Travis, you can pick whichever character you want in the packet. And that would be Max, Deasia, Clara, Aiden, and Evan, Y. Cool? Yeah. Alright.
No, like,
Huh?
there's no like,
Yeah, so people who have Travis and Asagai, you can pick whoever you want. Right. Even if there's no box for it. There's no, you can pick of these characters in here. Because these are just people in here.
oh,
Yeah, so if you, like I said, if you have Travis and
no, I thought
Asagai,
you were saying character two too.
no, you can pick whoever you want in the packet.
We're
Yeah.
supposed to pick the age for Mama.
No, that's why she doesn't have an age. Because it doesn't measure her. Looks so dark on screen.
Kind of snow.
Oh, no.
It's not snow. I much rather like, well, it's like, it's like, it's really like,
I can't tell.
it's so fast. It's like gross snow. Yeah. It snows.
No, it's like hail.
Oh my god, just like last week. Okay guys, okay, Linda. Sorry for the distraction. Let's keep going. I'm gonna ask you guys tomorrow what it was. If it was snow or rain.
You can look on the weather app.
Weather app is
I
not
think
that
it's snow,
good.
it's on the back of the truck, it looks like snow.
Looks like.
But it looks like gross though.
You didn't hear it. You aren't hearing it at your wall.
Yeah, you just hear.
That wasn't that bad. Oh, no, I think it's like, look how it's on black.
Guys, can you do me a favor? Sorry I'm distracting you again. Can you, everyone just move their desk back like a couple inches? Because I feel like the people in this first row are like right here. Okay, well, she'll see that after. I like everyone's full maze roots pictures. I'll picture it and make it on the packet, sorry, but I think your guys' pictures are better.
is snowing, it is snowing. Yeah, I think it is.
It's like sticking.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, look at that car, it's
If it was
snowing.
actually cold out, it'd be packing.
That's what I said.
You're right, I'm sorry.
Really saying that?
I want to move these, but just look at the.
Do you have an umbrella or something? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Maybe it's cool coming already.
So, after the old practices, I was there was anything the idea where it's just like when the news over the top of it. But it was like, oh, we can still
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good character trait. It should also happen in other places in the book, so remember when they're arguing about whether God exists?
Yeah.
That would be another reason.
Okay, so
Try not to lose these guys. They're gonna be helpful for you in your final project. We're not writing an essay, we're doing a project on these characters.
Well, we have to draw for it.
You have to draw for it.
Yeah.
There will be an artistic element, but I won't say I'm gonna necessarily force you to draw. Images will be required, they do not have to be hand-waved. Give you an investigation of the by house for a family. So that's going to be in Act 1, like Act 1, Scene 1. When she talks about wanting to allocate the money to give some towards the medical school and some towards buying a house. And she's talking to Ruth. What happened? Mom was talking to Ruth and telling her that's what she wants to do. Oh. Well, then that's, this evidence, yes, that is the, could be her dream. But this evidence is going to be in the part that we most recently read. Yeah, Act 2, when Mama tells Ruth that they've gotten the house. And Ruth is very excited. About 3 more minutes. Gonna give you a couple more characteristics in the meantime. She's smart, what else? She doesn't believe in God, so maybe she's opinionated. There's a lot of opinions, but she's outspoken. What else? What else? Yeah, with her like not wanting to be in a relationship. Maybe she's independent, she doesn't wanna be in a relationship. Okay. Little seasonal bother. Then try a whole bunch of different stuff. What does she try? She tries like horses, guitar, maybe she's creative or spontaneous, tries all these different things. I think she's strong, living with this first woman doctor in her family. Takes a lot of guts for it. Yeah, dedication.
So would the obstacle of living in a Mormon house
Just boil it down. So miscarriages of war. So see. So, a lot of stuff that we get in the house is her circumstances, it's not just the miscarriage, but her living circumstance, her not having rights to proper living conditions. That's what the circumstance of her human self is gonna stop her from being able to do some of these things.
So could I write like her circumstances and then the miscarriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just like that. And then,
Yeah, it is.
thank you.
All right. I'm going to have you guys tell me what you got. So, people who have mama, you're up first on the hot seat. Give me 5 character traits of mama. Go. Shout them out. People who don't have mama, you should be listening and writing. Old fashioned, yes.
Caring.
Caring, yes.
Religious.
Religious, yes.
Selfless.
Selfless, yeah.
Family oriented.
Family oriented.
Logical.
Logical, yeah. So with all these characteristics, we kind of get two sides of mama, right? We say she's strict, old-fashioned, but then she's selfless, and she's caring, and she's family oriented. So we get a pretty well-rounded character out of her. What's her dream? Kiara, then Carter.
She wanted to buy a house in Gordon Park and make a little garden in the back.
Yeah, she wants to buy a house. I'm gonna
Make
say,
a nice house and a good life for her family.
yeah, stability for her family. Yeah,
Basically the same thing, raise a family in comfortable conditions.
yes, raise your family in comfortable conditions. All great answers. Evidence of her dream. Give me your quotes, your different quotes. I feel like one of those auctioneer people. Alex and Kiara.
She was talking about her and Big Walter, and she said we had even picked out the house on 44.
Yeah, they'd even picked out the house, so it shows that that was their dream. They picked it out together. Is there any different quotes someone wants to toss out? Any thought? Kiara?
It's kind of like the same thing, but on the same thing, on 45,